Good afternoon, everyone in the Safe Harbor Facebook community. We're so excited that these videos are being watched. I don't know as much as you're here with us right now, but these videos get distributed all over the real estate networks in Seattle, Tacoma, Lakewood, and we must be doing something right because there's lots of views. So good afternoon, Marie. How are you, Marie Pettie?
I am awesome out in this beautiful weather, enjoying Washington State. It's very nice today.
You know, we're having a really nice Indian summer, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. So today we wanted to talk about, we're just trying to cycle through topics that are relevant for our existing owner clients and also our potential new owner clients, people that we'd like to work with. So can you talk to me a little bit about the market in the Pacific Northwest, and do you think it's a tight market and why? And then we'll talk a little bit about how that would affect investors.
I would define the market here in Washington State and surrounding areas as a seller's market, which
Mm-hmm.
makes it a tight market because there's low inventory. And what that means is when a property goes on the market, it doesn't last very long on the market. And people sometimes are having multiple bids on there, so it makes it quote unquote a tight market for investors. But as Mr. Kawasaki says, he says there's three sides to a coin. There's, buyers, good time to buy, bad time to buy, but the third side is the edge of the coin. So investors that are seasoned, they
Mm-hmm.
live on the edge of the coin.
Of course, right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ready for whatever kind of market and they just play strategically within it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Right, because they're not going to go for gimmicks or, what the crowd is doing. They're going to go for what pencils for them. And they're going to
Mm-hmm.
look for the deals like in the real estate market, especially in multifamily, which is where I was trained in multifamily, which means apartments. Um, there are different classes of buildings. There's A class, B, C, and D class.
Mm-hmm.
Investors are not really looking at A. Those are the real pretty luxury, properties. They're not looking at that. They're more
Mm-hmm.
in the um, C and D classes, which, might be properties that are mismanaged, or they have a little bit of or a lot of deferred maintenance. But a true investor, can look at that property and say, I can do this, I can do that, and then I can um, enter the market with increased rents and make this property pencil based on where it is and so forth.
So are you
So
saying D as in boy, D as in Dorothy?
yes, they're
Why
looking
not
at
C? Why not C as in cat?
C as in C is in cat and D is in Dorothy. Those particular properties, and also maybe some B's, but
Oh,
um
I misheard you. Okay, so C and
yeah,
D's they are looking at. Got you. The upper
right.
level
Yeah.
properties.
Not the
Or
upper
no,
level,
sorry, the lower level properties. Sorry. Okay.
the lower, right, the lower level, so that they can do some fix up or um manage it properly and make it pencil.
So what are you most versed in? I mean, you've been in this industry for over 30 years. So I know you came from multifamily apartments, but are you, what area of those levels are you most savvy in, or have you worked across all of them?
I've worked across the board, starting, I've worked in C properties, commercial properties, and built them up to A, meaning remodel, redesign, and bring them up to A in order to sell them. I've
Mm-hmm.
worked B apartments, which categorize uh, blue collar properties where you might have some Section 8 in the B and C, you know, lower level markets. Um, and across those, and also A. I've done A properties also, where I've worked in properties where the only properties in the portfolio were A luxury properties. So
I think it's
so
very
all across
tempting.
the board.
It's tempting to think that the opportunities are at one end or the other of those levels, right? Like, oh, well, goodness, of course you would want A level properties only. That's where the money is. Or, oh, of course, the opportunity is in the lower end because they're falling apart or they help. I mean, I really have seen the people I work with, they work across all those levels and they can make all those levels profitable because there's just
Mm-hmm.
it's not a lack of opportunity, it's a different opportunity depending on
Right.
what level of property it is, right?
Right. And your volume is going down, but I think what you said was if you're an investor, you're going to look at the lower level properties in order to invest because, of course, you want to buy low and make that pencil to where you can get your investment or your return on investment for those particular properties.
Well, I was saying that there must be opportunity across all levels, though. I mean, isn't there opportunity? So why do they avoid A?
Because they're luxury and they're going to be high priced.
Okay, not as much margin.
Right.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the Pacific Northwest? Do you think that, what is the opportunity here? Is it a tight market? Is it moderate? What is it?
Like I said, your volume is low. So I think what you're asking is where is the most opportunity? Is that what you were asking?
Well, are we assuming with this conversation that it's a tight market? Because it's
It is a
slowing.
tight market right now.
Okay.
There is, yes.
So is that particularly good or bad for an investor coming into the area or wanting to buy?
It's going to take patience for an investor to find the right property for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to, necessarily follow the crowd as far as which properties they would go after. You would kind of look and see where the opportunities are and see where that would pencil for you.
Yeah. So, so is it an attractive market because it's so tight? I mean, if I was looking across the country, would I come to the Pacific Northwest to buy, or is it so tight that it's not as much of an opportunity as it was 2 years
Oh,
ago?
yes. If you're across the country, you definitely come here to buy because this is the hottest market in the nation. And there are properties that are coming on the market, even though, there's not a saturation in the market or there's not a lot of inventory, but there are good deals that are out there that you can get.
And you work within Thurston to Lacey, mostly
Yeah, I
between
work in
South.
Thurston, Olive Pierce County, and South King County.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I need help or I'm listening to this because I'm an investor and I'm curious, but I'm not even at the place yet where I need property management, but I'm thinking about it, needing those services. Are you someone that can help me with that, whether or not I become a client, or are you
Yeah, if
only
there's questions, yeah, I can help answer questions, do analyses on different areas. And then by me being a property management company, we get calls in all the time of, people looking for rentals. So that would mean that if an investor is looking for exactly where to look in the market to purchase a property that will pencil for them, we could tell them, well, we had 10 calls in this area, we had 20 in this area. You might want to look in this area, Auburn, or you might want to look in East Tacoma, or where we're getting the calls that are coming in daily.
And by calls, you mean from potential residents, people looking for homes?
Potential residents. And then, of course, we don't have the inventory, so we need investors in those particular areas.
Yep. Yep. And I'm sure the apartment dwellings that have gone up in this area have filled pretty quickly when they do go up brand new, right? Probably.
Right.
Yeah. That is really interesting. So you have a true finger on the market in an interesting way because workers are moving in from all over, and you're listening to the phone ring going, man, I wish we had something else in SeaTac, or that's super interesting to me. Yeah. And so you can make real live advice like, look, did you know Microsoft's building a campus and there's this many homes needed? I mean, I know some industry things going on. I think Boeing has gone public with the fact that they're moving out of at least part of their operation out of Everett. So it's going to be a lot of homes for sale out there, right? So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than reading the news, right, and trying to find investor tips, to me, why not talk to a very experienced property manager and say, hey, what are you hearing and where are people wanting to move? So very interesting. So anything else you want to say about the Pacific Northwest real estate market? I know you kind of look at it from both the buying and the selling and also the property management opportunities, but anything else you want to share?
I think because property management and real estate are all under the same umbrella, I think that it's viable to, this particular market is viable for investors to come into as far as purchasing to hold. Of course, I'm interested in purchasing to hold, although purchasing to flip is an avenue too, but purchasing to hold is something that I would be very interested in helping people kind of figure that out.
And purchasing to hold is
if they're wanting to do that, we're happy to go out and give them an analysis of what it would rent for, go into the property and say, this needs to be done for this market. You know, you wouldn't want to go into a market and start ripping out cabinets and ripping out floors and things if you really don't have to in that particular market. We actually had a potential client do that. You know, they called us to take a look at it. We gave them the information of what needed to be done, but she was, you know, adamant about, well, I wouldn't live, you know, in this. And so she started ripping out cabinets and so forth when she really didn't have to in that market. And so consequently, she lost money in doing that. So we're happy to do that.
Such a classic move. I think anyone who's been a homeowner has probably done that at one time in their life or another, where they've over prepared a home, right? Not based on the market, but just based on what they think it should look like. Yeah, it's so important to have someone like, I would think like you or someone that knows what's going on in the market, so you can be objective about those decisions, right? And not just, oh, I really like, or you know, yellow kitchens, or I bet, you know what I mean? I think they can just
we've definitely seen it all, and we can see. Oh, I'm looking at a deer. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, a deer just walked behind me. So.
Oh, wow. Where are you? Are you in Lakewood or Tacoma?
I'm in Lakewood right now.
Yeah, cool. So you guys are located in Lakewood on Bridgeport. And if you're interested in working with Marie and you want to get more information about how maybe she can help you with property management, maybe she can just go visit a property with you. I'm going to go ahead and put their number up real quick.
Awesome.
So 253-302-3079 or safeharborrents@gmail.com. And you can speak with Marie, or she's got colleagues that can also help you. But thanks for talking today, Marie. The sunshine is beaming behind you. You look quite angelic, actually. There's a globe of light. You're very bright and shiny. We'll be talking to you again next week, and it was good to speak with you, and thanks for sharing your insights on the Pacific Northwest market. So
thank you so much, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Talk
Take
to
care.
you again. Bye-bye.